We actually kind of brushed over the Barstool Bowl pretty fast. I keep wanting to call it the Bussin Bowl, but the Barstool Bowl.
The Barstool Bowl was electric, man.
It was a great time. The game was incredible too.
Yeah, I just thought it was so cool because they executed all of it like very well.
They did a good job.
All the talent doing different roles, doing different things. Like I was telling the boys earlier, like you get the ESPNs or the corporate medias of the world, you kind of go, you don't really know the camera crew. Like everybody's got like some high-end job. Like they're working hard as fuck. You don't really know anybody. But seeing everybody at Barstool, it's like everybody from HQ is just there working and executing everything.
And it was cool
like
to see everybody
playing
there.
up, like because they don't host games like that. Like this is their first year where they hosted a basketball tournament, right? Yeah. Maybe they did it in years past, but I don't know. They're not known outside of like Rough and Rowdy for like hosting, especially a bowl game.
Yeah.
So everybody that's sitting in their seat playing their role, they're playing up because they're trying to execute that at a high level. And I heard the boys, because I didn't get to listen to the broadcast, but Big Cat, Dan, and Jake, just from what I heard, everybody absolutely loved the entertainment going on.
I heard the same thing.
Jersey Jerry getting the tease, like it's just amazing. It was
Jerry getting the tease was maybe the funniest part. And Frank doing the coin toss, getting extra over the top about it.
And overthinking it so much to where he really just took the coin and threw it as high as he could. It's like, I'm not going to risk it falling off my thumb.
Frank panicked about doing the coin toss. I saw him in the morning and I was like, hey, we got that coin? He's like, I can't get a quarter. I can't even practice. I know.
Hey, the first right when we got there, he's like, he said something about Titans need to do away with Ryan Trashahill, and he sat there. You know how you're around Frank and he says a joke and he sits there like, oh, he just got you, and he's waiting to see what your reaction is.
Yeah.
A minute later, you bring up Tua in Miami Dolphins, and he just starts losing, and we're losing it. Sit back like, hey, Frank, like let's take it easy, brother. Slow down.
And that was our first real impression of him. I've seen a couple times, shook his hand, hey, big fan, he can kind of walk away from him. Jersey Jerry brings up Frank the Tank, and he fucking starts biting his shirt, grabbing his glasses, chewing on him, grabbing his hat, and just like doing crazy shit.
It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. I thought it's usually like he's doing that, he's in the gambling cave and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's him.
He did it like 3-4 times.
He's a one of a kind. Remember who was with me the first time I was at HQ by myself? Was it Garrett? Remember the first time I met him and I tried like introduce myself and say like I like his stuff, and he didn't give a fuck. He's just like he's like, oh, thanks, and then kept walking. Like, oh man, might not be all there.
Yeah.
But then you got in front of him and he has that little where he just starts spazzing.
Yeah, those nervous ticks.
Fuck.
And hey, the weirdest thing, this is not a pile on Frank situation, but we go to In-N-Out Burger, which I do believe you had a better time than you have in recent past. Frank sits there, gets a burger, nothing on it but a meat patty. Doesn't like ketchup, doesn't like sauces. No. We asked him what his favorite sauces were. He goes, I guess barbecue sauce would be one, and then gravy. And then after that, there's no more sauces he likes.
What's
none.
Number 3? He's like, none.
None.
Hot dogs plain, hamburgers plain. Wild. Dude,
it blew me away.
It was a joy to be around him.
It made me kind of mad. I was like, dude, how do you not like anything on your burger?
I know, me too.
That's just crazy.
No onions. Like, I don't understand.
Like, he got his food, and I was like, that looks fucking terrible. It just looked awful. The bun's all sad in the corner.
Yeah, that's what you're getting at In-N-Out? Come on, brother. It was a good time, though. Like, right when we got there, we checked in our hotel. We saw Jerry. We're like, hey, you want to go get some food? We're about to go get In-N-Out.
What the fuck is going on?
Subwoofers, subsystem. You know where we're at. We're in a different part of town.
Racist Willie. Yeah, dude, fucking, it was just crazy. And Jersey Jerry, when we're in the car ride over to In-N-Out Burger, knows exactly what to do to Frank to get him all wound up. He was just instigating the whole thing the whole time.
The entire ride over.
Yeah.
The Uber driver had to buckle Frank in. It was so fucking funny. Frank's like battling it, and Frank just starts asking. He's like, hey, I need you to buckle me in.
Yeah, he goes... And Frank wouldn't let the Uber driver go till he was buckled in. Like, the Uber driver tried to drive off. Doors closing. Oh, hold on. I was like, you can fucking get it over.
Oh, bro. And then Jerry, the entire trip to In-N-Out, he's just instigating him about everything. Like, hey, Frank, you don't like this, do you? And then he just gets Frank going. And Frank's just like an encyclopedia of sports. The dude's just bringing up stuff from just really back in the day. Like, Jersey Jerry said something about me doing special teams, and then he brings up some special teams player from like the 80s on the Miami Dolphins. It's just insane, bro. It was a good time. It was like, it's like you land, you go to your hotel, and you and the boys just go get some grub. The teammate vibes were high. The locker room vibes were up.
Yeah, it was an awesome time. Do you want to talk about the biggest letdown of the Barstool Bowl, though?
Are we talking about the drive home?
Yeah.
We can get into it.
This is more your story than mine. I don't know him that well. This is my first impression of him.
Yeah. I think into like the official friends mark in the group chat saying now that Taylor and I are officially friends.
You can tell he's fishing.
Yeah, he messaged me today because we were supposed to get buff at Boost.
Which he was
we're supposed
throwing
to get buff.
Shade at that, actually.
We were supposed to get buff at Boost, dude. It was our New Year's resolution. Like, we're starting fast, we're starting strong.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a no-show this morning. And then he said, and then he tried spinning it on me, saying, we're talking about Caleb Pressley, he resides in Nashville.
For now.
He tries hitting me with, oh, you didn't really text back yesterday, because I told him, he was like asking me to come over for New Year's.
And you even brought that up on our drive home.
Yeah, I said, I'm probably not going to go over there.
Which is crazy.
I was tight. We were tight.
Yeah, Will was super tight. Will knows Caleb a lot better than I do. This is literally the first time I met him. So I'm kind of also, we're doing the whole, like, you know, the birds, we're fucking doing our little dances around each other, seeing if we're actually going to be friends or not.
Like, I talk about hanging out with Caleb. Caleb knows that Taylor's my boy, and they're meeting for the first time. Caleb's talking about
great.
Caleb's talking about his first impression, like, in front of Taylor, and Taylor's talking like, hey, how do you think that went the first time he met Caleb? Like, we're trying to make all this entire group come together. And also, we're going to get into this very dramatically. And it is dramatic. Don't get it.
Yeah, I don't think you have to. Everything you're about to hear is the truth.
This is a true story. And
it's easy to tell a story like this because we didn't do anything wrong.
Yes.
Our only issue is we cared too much.
I didn't text him back yesterday because I was like, well, when Rue wakes up from a nap, I'll see what's up. And then I didn't text back. But the reason for that is I felt like there needed to be some consequences for his actions.
Yeah.
We're at the bowl game. Taylor does his he hosts the challenge in the second time out of the third quarter, the second stoppage of the third quarter.
It's the high noon challenge. Yeah. The same thing as the Dr. Pepper challenge.
After that, we're rolling because you hear his voice right now. He's been under the weather for like a week. The dude's operating.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry.
The dude's operating the host challenges, the ESPN. He's doing all that on some tough vocals. Like, he's sick. He's been down bad. He's been taking medicine. He's like, I got to get up. I'm nervous. So what you've seen from Taylor Lewan over the last week, that's just to shelve himself. He's not even hitting his potential. Now, Taylor's not feeling well, so he's like, hey, I'm trying to go back. Like, what do you want to do? Like, drive back to Phoenix, because my flight out the next day was at 7:30, and then Taylor was doing the ESPN game, or the playoff game with Michigan. He's like, I'm trying to go back. And he's like, what are you trying to do? Because Taylor's like, well, do you want to hang out? Like, we can hang out longer, blah, blah, blah. I said, bro, I don't care. Like, we can drive back. Like, I know you're not feeling well, and I know you're trying to prep for the game tomorrow. Because he's like, yeah, I got to start prepping for this game. So I'm like, we'll dip right after you do the challenge thing. And so we're all hanging out, me, him, and Caleb. And Caleb's talking about, like, what are you guys doing after this? Like, we're talking about going home. Like, hey, we're going to go back. We're going to order some food, get some Dairy Queen. It's going to be a fun ride back, and we're not going to do much that night because he was up late the night before Caleb was. So he wasn't trying to go out. We all were. Yeah, we all were up late, but Caleb was up late. And so he's like, I'm not trying to do shit neither. So he was like, if you guys wait, I'll ride back with you. And so we're like, we're trying to get the band together. We're trying to create a little threesome with the boys. Yeah.
I'm feeling terrible. He brings up the fact that he'll drive with us back to Scottsdale, stay at the Arnold's house.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have a good time.
We're going to have a good little boys'
And we know we can eat whatever we want because Jan 1 was coming. Yes. We already made promises to each other.
Yes, bro.
Which, by the way, 2 days in, it's going well.
Yeah, going well.
I want you to know that. So go ahead. The game goes to overtime.
After the game, we'll leave. It goes to overtime. So then we were just making sure with Caleb, because Caleb had to stay to do the trophy presentation. And we keep kind of checking in, like, are you sure you're still down to go? Because we were going to dip, bro. It's 5:30. By the time the game gets over, it's 7:30. So we would have already been back. And, in overtime, he's about to do the presentation. Are you going to be ready to go after this? He's like, yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm going to still go with you guys. He started to think about not going, but we were like, just let us know. And he's like, I'm going to go. So we're like, okay.
100% fact.
We wait until the game is all over. That's when we start hanging out with the boys from Ohio afterwards, meeting the players. Like, and by the way, Ohio's for the boys.
Ohio is for the boys. Bobcats, fuck with the boys.
We get to outside to start figuring out, hey, how are we going to get to the hotel? Where I asked if somebody give us a ride to the hotel. It's like 5 minutes away. And I see Caleb. I'm like, hey, are you going to be ready to go when we get back to the hotel? He's like, yeah, I'm going to still go with you guys. Like, I'm just going to ride back with Roan. And so it was like, okay, cool. We'll meet at the hotel, and then we'll get our stuff from the rooms, and then we'll dip. We get to the hotel, go upstairs. I put the boys in the group chat. And there was a part of me that was already thinking, if he's riding with Roan, like, okay, that's fine. You ride with Roan. But I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I hope he doesn't dip on us. That'd be
such a hard look.
I started to get that vibe. And you get it too. Like, if you're him, you're like not trying to let the boys down, but also like, I do think I want to go home. Like, I get being stuck in the middle, but also we only stayed to wait for Caleb to get done so we could drive back. And so I get up to the room, we're getting our stuff. I take a nice little 2, and I text the boys. I put us in a group chat, and I'm like, hey, let's meet down in the lobby, and we'll take off. And then Taylor.
I'm already in the lobby. I grabbed my stuff. I went and sat down because I'm hurting, dude. I have a fever. Life is not going great for me. I just want to get the fuck out of there. I'm sitting in the lobby. The door's open. Caleb, Roan's wife. They start walking towards the elevator. I go, Caleb, are you grabbing your stuff? We're about to roll. He goes, hey, man, I really don't want to go. I will go with you guys, but I just really don't want to go. Now, 4 hours ago, before this, he was telling me about how life's all about just doing what you want, and that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to do exactly what he wants to do and live his life a certain way, blah, 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 sounding like he's selling me a dream that I can subscribe to. I was like, damn, this dude's really dropping some knowledge on me right now.
He's good.
He's good.
He's the boy.
And
he's the boy.
He hits me with that. And this is the first time I've met Caleb. How am I going to go impress this man about coming to hang out at my family's house when I don't really know him and he's just said to me he doesn't want to go? All I say to him is, buddy, we want you to go, but you've said yourself life's about doing what you want. You do whatever you want. And he walked away. I haven't seen him since.
And then Taylor's like, we're doing a thing in the group chat with us. And Taylor's like, Will, I have sad news. I literally just saw Caleb and he says, I really don't want to go, and puts it in cast. And Taylor and I start talking in the group chat like we're just talking to each other and Caleb's not in it. And then he's like, whoa, guys, blah, blah, blah. But we got in the car and we were driving back. We kept
ignoring him too. We just kept rolling.
Yep. And we were driving back and I was just like, man, I'm a little tight about this.
Buddy.
Because Taylor's saying his thing, like, I don't really like, he doesn't know Caleb well enough to, I'm sitting there because Caleb and I, we get buff all the time, at least 3, 4 times a week at Boost Fit. So we're in the sauna. We got a nice little friendship going. We get burritos over at 8th and Roast. No free shout outs to 8th and Roast. And I'm just sitting there on the car ride back and I just say out loud, like, I'm a little tight about this. And Taylor starts like chuckling. He's like, oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm a little tight. Like, I was like, I don't think I'm going to go to his house for New Year's anymore.
We're not even on the highway yet. We're still driving through Tucson, Arizona to get to the highway. And
Childish.
Will brings it up 3 more times before the first 30 minutes of the drive is done. Then I start feeding into Will. Will is now hot about it. I'm getting hot now. I'm like, damn. Because I start looking at the time and it's like 8 o'clock. And I'm like, bro, I could have been.
Our drive's like 2 hours.
It's an hour and a half.
Is when we look down there. It was an hour 52 left. And you're like, oh man, we got this hour 52. Like maybe we'll stop. Do we want to get some ice cream? I'm literally thinking in my mind. I started checking my text messages on who I texted around the time the third quarter happened. I go, man, we would have left at 5:30. We would be home right now.
Home. 30 minutes home. Because I want to go to Zips too.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Zips.
We had plans.
I didn't even get Zips the whole time I was in Arizona. No. But
it killed the vibe.
Yeah.
Like, he's the boy. That's my guy. We're I think we're good. But
could have been our guy.
He's probably going to listen to this now, and now we're probably not going to be good for a second. But that's the boy, man.
This is a test in your guys' friendship.
Because I texted him this morning when we were going to get buff. I just texted him the X-ray with the dogs in it. And he's like, what's this? Can't text Caleb back? Or he goes, what's this? And he goes, no texting CP back? ? Because I didn't respond to him yesterday. And so then I just started to go in. Oh, couldn't ride back with us the other day. Like, you could see it all pouring out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got to go to therapy after this lift just to save our friendship, Caleb.